What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to the channel. Dungeon Defenders, the original game, has gotten support from Chromatic and implementation into Steam for the Redo mod, or Redux mod as many are calling it. This particular mod is a total conversion overhaul of the entire game of Dungeon Defenders. Think along the lines of some of the total conversion mods of like Terraria, with all the new things and new items added in, with rebalancing. Redux hits all of those notes. It is available right now for everyone who has it on Steam to play. Now, what is Redo? Redo is a reimagining of what is possible using the base form of Dungeon Defenders with no limits. The community development team updates were limited in balance changes, map changes, and types of additions. However, without these limitations, Redo could be designed differently. This time, design is heavily influenced by player feedback from all aspects, resulting in an experience that may feel better for the player overall. If you're a fan of the original game, this is kind of a no-brainer. It is just a full, complete package that brings so much to Dungeon Defenders. It's just hardly believable that such few people worked to get this put together. Now, how you get this installed is you go ahead and open up your Steam library, find Dungeon Defenders. You're going to want to right-click on Dungeon Defenders and choose Properties. Click on the Betas tab up top, and then you're going to see that drop-down box. In the drop-down box, you will see DD1 Redo Official. This is going to download the Redo mod pack for you. I know a lot of folks out there, myself included, was not overly excited about the thought of starting the entire grind fresh. Now, I know a lot of people will. They're going to want the experience right from the beginning, and everything is there in the game for you to have that. However, I wanted all of my fancy items that I had grinded out over the years in Dungeon Defenders to play around with in the Redo mod. Now, when you launch the game for the first time, there is a one-time transfer, and we're talking on ranked here, where it is going to transfer your old profile over to the new save for Redo. Now, the amount of work that went into this, you can't even call it a mod. I mean, it's like it's a whole nother game. The amount of work that went into it is absolutely absurd. IHDC is the creator of it. Mischief has been a content creator and a mastermind behind a lot of the design choices. Gigazel, always on point with the art and helping with game direction as well. Moose was there doing quality assurance and some game direction. Eskev did a lot of QA balance and game direction. Lol's Cool Cat did a ton of QA balance and game direction. The Wild Emu threw some art in, and then there was an entire team of testers that also helped get this game dialed in to where it is right now. Now, like I said, without getting into the game, you can't even grasp the amount of changes these folks have put into it, and just the amazing amount of hard work and dedication. There's just no doubt about it. Now, moving on into exactly what all Redo includes. Now, this, of course, is only a small sample. There will be a link down in the description to the official forum post with all of the changelogs and everything written out. However, there's just base balance changes with towers on the values you get when you're upgrading. Every tower had some sort of balance to it, whether it be the Apprentice's Fireball Tower now having an increased projectile speed, Harpoons having an increased projectile speed, Proximity Mines from the Huntress getting increased damage scaling, the Series EV2, oh man, well, you know what, let's go back to the Apprentice. It's not just a redo of what's there, y'all. There is new stuff. So the Apprentice gets a Snowball Tower, throws an AoE snowball that damages and slows enemies down. Moving on to the Squire. The Squire gets a Mortar Tower. The Squire gets a Mortar Tower. Do I need to repeat that? It shoots a bomb that deals AoE damage. The Huntress is getting a new trap to the arsenal, the Oil Trap. The Oil Trap is going to damage enemies and applies a debuff for a limited amount of time based on the tower health stat that makes the enemy take increased damage. So you can throw down an Oil Trap and it's going to debuff your enemies to take increased damage. Now here's my personal favorite. We're all going to have our favorite, but the EV's got a rocket launcher. Oh yeah, I said it. The EV has got a rocket launcher tower. It is the SAM unit, and it fires a heat-seeking fire damage missile that explodes on impact. Just so beast. Now, it didn't stop there. The Barbarian has now got towers. Fitting with the theme of the Barbarian, these towers are going to be a damage totem that boosts player damage output that are in the radius. There's also a speed totem. It's going to increase the speed of all heroes on the map. Just absolutely crazy stuff going into the DD redo. The Summoner, you know, who has not wanted a big Spider Queen minion on a Summoner? You got one now, it is there. Now, in addition to all of these changes with defenses, balancing, new defenses, etc., the heroes were reworked. So the hero abilities were all rebalanced and gone through. In addition to that, there's new skins to acquire, there's new shinies to get, there's new loot. And of course, there's new loot, there's gonna be new maps. There's a ton of new maps. I mean, lots of new stuff to do. Literally, even if you kept your entire save file and just jumped back into the game in return, it's going to give you many hundreds of hours of gameplay just going through all of the new maps and collecting the new rewards. There's also been updates to existing maps. There is a increased difficulty above Nightmare. The Ascension difficulty was added. This is above the Nightmare difficulty. There's new enemies. As I mentioned, there's new loot. There's a new and kind of retweaked Tavern Keeper shop. There's new qualities of gear. There's a little crafting system that was added in. There's a Ruthless toggle along with the Hardcore toggle when you enter a map that's going to affect your loot on that map. So it's going to reduce the mob count, increases the enemy difficulty, decreases the enemy movement speed with a lower mob spawn rate, but an increased loot multiplier. So if you don't want to go into one of the maps that have just thousands and thousands and thousands of enemies per wave, you can always queue up Ruthless for a reduced mob count with slightly harder mobs and get better loot. There was a forges added to the tavern to implement the crafting system into the game. I'm not even going to get into that, as that really is an entire video all by itself. There is an integrated emulator. So anyone that's been doing the split screen themselves on PC and using an emulator, it's integrated in the game. It's already there. Pure Strategy has been reworked. As I mentioned, there's new mobs, the Cyclops, the Nutcracker, and the Loot Goblin. The Loot Goblin is going to spray out the goodies, of course, so when you see the Loot Goblin, oh yeah, got to kill that one. Now, there is also a ton of quality of life additions. Like I said, it's too much info and too many changes, too much content for me to list it all in this one video. So there will be a link down in the description to the official post with the full changelog. I encourage any Dungeon Defenders fans out there to give it a look, as it just looks awesome. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see ya next time around. Take it easy.